And there we go, bam, just like that, fingers crossed, we got some magic working today. It is Friday. What does that mean in Two Sister World? It is Fantabulous Friday. Good morning, everyone, for our beautiful sunrise, blue sky, Vero Beach. This is Carroll-Sue, aka Naughty Boss, live from Vero Beach with Two
Sisters. Hey, and good morning, everyone. My name is Janice, aka Wellness Diva, and in other circles known as the Deadline Diva. Lots of deadlines going on. Got to keep on top of those. It is a very gray, gloom and doom kind of day here in the Northeast. It's all good. I have extra lights on, but my eyes are very sensitive to glare. So if you're viewing this, you'll see me taking my glasses on and off so I can see everything is running properly. So Fantabulous Friday, what's happening today?
Well, I'm wondering, is the bottom of the ocean sea ship?
No, it's still there, and we'll get him to take care of that today because I'm tired of it.
Well, you know what, I didn't want to say it, but for those of our listeners I cannot see, Janice has a submarine. Her husband, my brother-in-law, he's very talented with putting models together. But there is like the old show, I forget, what was it called? Bottom of the Sea?
The Voyage to the Bottom of Nowheres.
Whatever it is.
Well, that's what I call it.
Yeah, so she has this model behind her, and the perception I get, because I don't see the whole thing, our viewers do, obviously our listeners don't, but it is a submarine, but when she's in front of it, it looks like it's coming out of her neck. So it's like she's got this extra piece coming out of her neck. So they're working on getting rid of that beautiful model.
It is. I mean, he's very talented and has done really some amazing things with his models, but you know, I think he may still be over there, so we don't want his head to get too big.
That's true. We don't want to do that. Absolutely not. Anyways, it is Fantabulous Friday. I am still reeling and excited over my big win yesterday, as I had posted on my Facebook page and on my MeWe page and on my Instagram. As most of you know, we share good ways for you to get movement and health and wellness, but we also share a piece of our journey because everyone needs to be accountable. So I love putting out my aspirations and my goals and my visions and help you, encourage you to do the same. So we have been playing pickleball now since, I want to say mid-October. We had a few weeks off. I'm very much a beginner in the sense of I'm pretty good at badminton and pretty good at ping pong, and it's a combination of those. But it is a court similar to a tennis court, but much smaller. And there's a lot of skill involved. Very competitive, so much so that the club that we belong to, and shout out to Pocahontas University Pickleball, my pickleball buds. There's a north side and a south side. One side, the north side is more expertise than the beginner/intermediate. So I think we played probably about 10 games yesterday. And frequently the conversation comes up of, can you play with your partner, your spouse, or whatever? Some can, some cannot. You get that friction going, you get that critiquing going, and then you're like, eh. So John and I had made the decision that we were, you know, he's more advanced than I am anyways. So I wasn't, you know, that challenging to play with, I guess. Or maybe I was probably I was his loose end on his side. But anywho, we've played together on and off, but you know, we also play with other individuals. So yesterday we played about 9 games, and we're coming down to the last 2 games. And at that point, depending on how many hours you're there, you know, you change partners or whatnot. So it's down to me and 2 other gals that I play with, and we needed a 4th. John was done. I said, you're it. And so he played on the opposite side of me. And my team beat him. It was very competitive. It was the score ended up being 12-10 because you have to, the score goes to 11, but you have to beat by 2. So in this case, it was 12-10. It was very competitive. I've been working really hard on putting more power into my serve, and I'm still working on my backhand. I still haven't quite got to that where it should be. But it was a glorious victory. And yeah, I've been telling everyone that I see, I beat my husband in pickleball. And I said, of course, and his, well, I lit up a little bit. No, you didn't. He was slamming it. So, although he only slammed it once, I told him, be nice, don't slam it too much. But it was competitive, and it gives you a good feeling when you have that goal and you have that, well, that's what you're striving for. It wasn't necessarily more about obviously improving my game, but I'm not going to lie. If you can, hustle your spouse or your partner for the glory, why not?
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait to at some point get outside and even just to, take a walk around the circle, slide my bag out and punch the heck out of that. But I'm not obviously as active as I was, but, it goes to show you the power of your mind, what you can and you can't do. And I've been chatting a lot about the chair exercises with Donovan Green. Just amazing, amazing platform. And I know that I've talked about this before, but I absolutely love his tagline. If you can sit, so anybody who can sit, you can get fit. And I absolutely love that. And it's really a testament to what you can do. You may be
absolutely. You get limited, but I think that program, which we've shared on many different ways, injuries occur. There are some people that are bound to a wheelchair, and how do they survive the day with that positive mindset to say, I'm going to focus on what I can do and not what I can't do? And they do. I mean, let's face it, they usually go to some sort of occupational therapist, and they are still working those muscles because it's important. One of the top 2 reasons of death in this country, and you can add that into the virus that's included in that, is obesity. You can't get around it, guys. You cannot say, oh, my heart numbers are good, and shake off the obesity piece to it, because the obesity piece to it will catch up to you. You can't outrun it. You can't avoid it. So while you may not be, because I hear a lot of people say that, well, I know I'm overweight, and they don't understand. It's kind of like a person in recovery. What happens when you're in recovery? The first thing you say, good morning, my name is, and I'm an alcoholic. Good morning, my name is, I'm a drug addict. Well, good morning, my name is, I'm obese. And until they embrace that and say, that obesity does not define me. It does not define me, just like someone that's an alcoholic or a drug addict does not define them. Someone that suffers from depression, anxiety, does not define them. Somebody who, fought for our freedom and came home in a wheelchair due to a war, due to an injury, that does not define them. And or if you were born with, some sort of physical ailment and or disease or something that led you to the point that you had to now only be in a wheelchair, that does not define you. And I think this Fantabulous Friday, you have to embrace what does define you and break through that wall. Just say, well, if you feel like you are, the chains are around you because you're in a chair, break those chains and find out ways that you can surpass what you feel is your envision, or even temporary envision of what defines you. Because defining us is unlimited. It's kind of like time, I can never say that word. Infinite time, infinity, lives in infinity, whatever the word is. I get tongue tied with that. But don't define yourself on your limitations. Define yourself on what you can do and bust through those doors.
Well, I think the focus, and especially for women, because I know that when I was going through my journey, and probably till this day, I'm just going to be totally honest there, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and we define ourselves by too much, I think, on how we look. And I think if we approached, we all know obesity is not a good thing for any of your internal organs. But if we focus on, let's work on the wellness part. Now, and I don't want to say put the obesity part of it away, but let your focus not be on your obesity, like I was doing for several years. Let your focus be on your well-being. As a result of that, as a byproduct of that, the obesity will start to release. You'll start to lose weight. And there's so many mixed there's so many mixed emotions about that. And obviously through my years, I've had a ton of conversations with everyone. Now, we also, and before you begin, and I always want to say this, I am not a medical doctor, I am a health coach. If you have any questions whatsoever about how you should proceed, if it's medically related, and you have very specific questions, you need to check with your physician first. So that's my disclaimer. And if you want to chat with me, I would be more than happy to do that. But I am not.
I want to interject with that too, because I think part of that piece is really you being in charge of your health. In other words, when you're going to be talking to your doctor, which we both encourage always, and talking to a nutritionist, be proactive in your health. Don't just assume your doctor says, oh, A, B, or C, because a lot of people have the preconceived notion that if the doctor says so, I'm not supposed to question it. And I think that's a good piece to, if you know you're not feeling well, and you are leaving your doctor's office, well, he told me I couldn't do A, B, or C. My numbers are good. Well, you should be saying to him, you're telling me my numbers are good, or maybe that's what I'm getting out of it, and I'm not really addressing the issue. But I do have a question. It is okay to challenge and get more information and or clarification of what a physician and or nutritionist or health and mindset coaches tell you. You have to be proactive, because if you're not, then you're not taking charge. You're sitting on the sidelines, and you're not saying like what you're talking about. Like, you got to let the obesity go after you've addressed the issue. Okay, now let's get to a certain point where I'm going to do these things to kind of shift away from that. I already know I'm obese. So now what can I can't drop 100 pounds today, but what is the first step I can take?
Right, exactly. And a lot of people don't realize the number one, and this is in my opinion, okay? But from all the research that I've done through all the years, the number one reason or the number one instigator for disease in the body is inflammation.
Very true.
So think about that for a moment. But back to what I was originally chatting about, kind of also adding a little bit more to that, focus on your well-being. So your well-being looks like so many different things. And I just want to relate back, and people that I know may know to whom I'm talking about, and I don't have the permission to say the person's name, but I had a great conversation yesterday with somebody that I admire and respect. And this person has lost, now I think it's like 135 pounds. And a key thing that she said to me was, I never thought, if only I had, and this is not verbatim, if only I had paid attention in my earlier years on how I really thought and didn't think of it as I never thought, think of what is possible for me today. What is possible for me is, for instance, I'm walking around the loft without the crutches. Now I do have to use them being outside of the home, but what does that mean for you? Okay, so you can't get up and take a walk out because it's kind of crappy out. Take a walk within your house, sit in a chair, get some exercise, have that extra glass of water. People struggle with so many different things all at once, and just put the brakes on, hit the pause button, reflect on your well-being for today. For instance, hey, and instead of having eating that bag of chips, and I've been guilty of doing that. I haven't done that in a couple of years. I would literally sit and eat a whole bag of chips. True story. But I still to this day struggle with potato chips, those damn chips. And there's some, as I'm working yesterday and, I have to walk through the kitchen and, I know the chips are there. The urge there was, it was like it was a magnet for me. Set yourself up for success. I had some celery. I put a little bit of peanut butter on it, drink some water. I am not perfect, okay? But what we chat about and we relate back to, sorry, I'm stumbling over my words, is our progress and how we go through that. And it relates to so many, it's not just about health and wellness. There is a broad, huge spectrum that includes so much more. It's a real, okay? And for those of you who haven't joined, sidebar, the Real Wellness with Two Sisters, oh my God, a lot of great information in there. So we would love to have you join us. But back to the conversation at hand, I challenge all of you to think about one thing to enhance your wellness, not deteriorate your thoughts, but to enhance your thoughts on what you can do today. One little thing, whether it's instead of drinking, 4 ounces of water, drink 8 ounces of water. Instead of maybe having chips with your lunch, if you have some vegetables, cut up some vegetables, because we all kind of like that crunchy kind of taste. Do that for you. Challenge yourself, but in a very good way. And even if it's that one little thing of increasing your water intake. And this evening, when you're getting your jammies on and getting settled in, and you look back at your day, you're going to think, wow, I challenged myself this morning to drink more water, and I did it. How good are you going to feel about that?
So true. And I think that's it's about planning. It all comes down to accountability and planning. And don't overcomplicate it. And I think a lot of times people do. They think they have to reach these huge goals in one day. You don't have to do that. If you set it up, and that's why I really like, the 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Think of 5 things that you want to improve in your life for the entire week. So I recommend you do this on a Sunday. 5 things that you want to improve within 7 days. And I don't mean these drastic, huge things, just little things. Implement to the fullest 4 of them. 3, make sure you make 3 positive changes. 2, do 2 health and wealthy things for you, whether it's mindset, whether it's try a new recipe, whether it's listen to a podcast. And number 1, be true to yourself. Hold yourself accountable. And if you can, most people can, it's hard. Connect with a partner, connect with a friend that is also on a health and wellness journey, which we all should be. Kind of like if we always discuss, we all diet. It's just a matter whether you choose a good, healthy diet. With splurging, we all splurge. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you don't do it consistently every single day, there's no reason why you can't enjoy that chocolate piece of cake if that's your thing. There's nothing wrong with you enjoying that cocktail or, that starch. As long as you say, you know what, I'm going to kind of plan out my week and see where I'm going to go. But if you incorporate 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'll do up a banner later today to put that on our page, you will realize it's just really about organization. When you go to the grocery store, when you decide what you're going to clean in your home, what project you're going to take, you do put some thought into it, even though you might not think so. It's thinking in your head, oh, I need to do A, B, and C to accomplish this. Write it down. I always talk about pen and paper. I'm a pen and paper person. But when you see that and you write down all these things that you want to accomplish, for daily accomplishments, week accomplishments, month accomplishments, and year accomplishments, your future self will thank you. You'll see that all these steps led to another journey of a healthier you, which is now going to branch out into other areas of your life. And I think that's how you have to look at it. And we hope that helps you on this Fantabulous Friday. Whatever you do, get that movement in like Jan was talking about. Make sure that you are a priority. Think about what I'm talking about with the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make those little changes that Jan suggested. And I'm telling you, your future self will thank you. Well, this is Carroll-Sue, AKA Naughty Boss, live from Vero Beach with Two
Sisters. And hey, good morning again, everyone. My name is Janice, AKA Wellness Diva, also the Deadline Diva. And if you join us in the Real Wellness with Two Sisters, we're going to have, oh my God, so much great information. We're going to share recipes, tips, tricks. Oh my gosh, you've got to join us. And who knows, we're also in the planning process for some virtual events that may include a vision board. And we're real excited about that. So on that note, have a great day, everyone. Fantabulous Friday, and we will see you on Monday. Have a great day, everyone.
Take care.